Today's show is all about energy. This V8 supercar is a prime example of energy in action. And I tell you, I'm feeling plenty of it right now.
So how can we get that same energy boost? Or better still, create long-term energy reserves? What can we eat and do to give us maximum energy? And do we perform better at certain times of the day?
We'll answer those questions and more. Plus,
2 completely different ways to ramp up your energy levels. Formula One racing driver Mark Webber shares his tips to maintaining a high-energy lifestyle. And a simple energy-boosting dish using one of nature's superfoods.
so stick around. To live healthy, be happy.
Whether it's racing cars, competing in sports, or intense stretching. These activities all require large amounts of energy.
Some of the key easy ways of having maximum energy during the day include regular exercise, healthy diet, as well as relaxation techniques, and even take an appropriate supplement.
But why do some of us seem to have endless amounts of it, while others struggle just to get out of bed?
If you have good quality nutrients throughout the day, eating less and eating more natural foods, you'll get a steady supply of energy.
But the unfortunate reality is that more Australians are turning to unhealthy energy sources.
People are often after the quick fix, coffee, energy drinks, sugar hits, and they work short term. But then you get this crash and burn type of effect. So you get your energy for the first hour, and afterwards you feel a lot worse.
So what other ways can we build and maintain energy sources?
When it comes to energy, everyone has their own ways to pick themselves up. And today we're going to compare the frenetic power of African drumming with a yoga practice that focuses on relaxation and breathing.
You can open the palms, and that opens up your lung acupuncture meridian. It makes you breathe easy.
African drumming is not only a great form of self-expression, but studies have shown it induces feelings of well-being. So besides raising energy and feeling fantastic after a drumming session, what are the other health benefits?
Well, what happens with African drumming is it's a primal sound. People would use it to put people into trances, and that would allow them to release the negative energy and bring in the positive energy. But also it allows people to come together, and when people come together and they share their energies, they create amazing things.
African drumming is a great way of increasing your energy, but sometimes slowing down can also pump you up. Simon, you're a physiotherapist and a yoga instructor. How can I use yoga to increase my energy?
The most important thing about getting energy into the body is to use lengthening and relaxing techniques while moving naturally.
So does this build endurance as well as increasing energy?
For sure. There's studies done in England a couple of years ago that showed that people who work like this actually improve up to 30% of their swimming performance and their rowing performance. Because even though your heart's not racing, this is actually making the blood flow, which is all the benefits of cardiovascular work come really not from exercising the heart to make it work faster, but just from improving the flow of blood. And just for fun, turn around and change positions. Now that's fancy.
I feel uncoordinated when I'm doing this.
You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
I'm Sean Breslin, Executive Chef of Saki Restaurants, and today I'm going to cook a dish which will give you so much energy you won't know what to do with yourself. We're going to feature 3 of my favourite ingredients: quinoa, beetroot and tuna. I've got 2 cups of quinoa here. Quinoa, again, super good for you, high in fibre, high in energy. So 2 cups of quinoa to 4 cups of stock. And for every cup of quinoa, I add one of these beautiful beetroots. So this is beetroot that's just been diced up. And this is going to sit on the stove. I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to simmer it for 10 minutes. Onto the tuna. I'm going to slightly grill him. Generous amounts of seasoning. I'm going to let that sit for 10 minutes. Okay, broccoli is featuring in our dish. Broccoli is very high in iron. It's good for memory, it's good for energy. I'm gonna just cook these in some salty boiling water for about 2 minutes. I'm refreshing my broccoli in some ice water, keeps them nice and crisp. One of my favourite ingredients at the moment is macadamia nut oil. It's high in monounsaturated fats, tastes amazing, and it's an Aussie product. I'm just going to put this on the char grill, a couple of minutes either side, about 3-4 millimetres into the flesh. Okay, he's done. It's about 3 mil all the way around. Still going to be cooking a little bit. The next step is to make a little dressing for our tuna. Anything with ginger, for me, gives me tons of energy. So ginger, I'm just going to cut into some little strips. Drop them in our soy. Just going to let them sit there for sort of 3-4 minutes. As easy as that. Quinoa's done. Beautiful, beautiful colour. Look at that gorgeous red. So, plating up. Just going to put a little bit of this in the centre of our bowl. We've got our broccoli, bits of green here. We're going to squeeze these tomatoes in. And now, we just have to cut our tuna. Just going to put these around the outside, like such. Drizzle this tuna with some of our ginger and soy. I'm going to put little ginger flakes on each piece of tuna as well, give it a bit more flavour. And then to finish, a lemon cheek. So here you have it. Quinoa, tuna, tomatoes, amazing energy food. After Bikram, after a swim, after a run, eating this is like going to the petrol station and filling up on fuel. You'll be ready to face life full on. Enjoy.
Another great tip to boost your energy levels is to take a 10-minute brisk walk. A study at California State University has found that it can increase your energy by up to 2 hours. Next, what role does our body clock play in all of this? And Formula One's Mark Webber with his tips on how not to crash and burn from lack of energy.
Enjoying the outdoors, being healthy, looking after yourself. Nobody likes getting sick, and equally as boring after a good night's sleep waking up and still feeling tired. So today we try and establish if eating the right foods and doing the right exercise at exactly the right time can have your life full of energy. First up, a look at exactly how our body clock works.
The circadian rhythm is basically our 24-hour body clock. And we have, so for example, different temperatures at different times of the day, different hormone release at different times of the day, and that will really then impact on when we should eat, when we should exercise, what our energy levels are like, when we think best. And all of this is based around this 24-hour body clock.
If you're anything like me, your morning will start with a coffee. Doc, I'm a coffee drinker. Dispel the rumours that coffees are bad for you. Can we have a coffee?
Of course we can, as long as you keep it in low doses.
Is there a time when we shouldn't be having coffee?
Time to have coffee is first thing in the morning, maybe another one after lunch, but I wouldn't have coffee after 4 o'clock because it really mucks around your sleeping patterns.
Is there a time in the day where you have more energy than not?
For the vast majority of us, we have most of our energy from waking up to about 12 midday.
So what foods give us the most energy throughout the day?
Fruit and veg anytime. The good thing about all fruits and vegetables, there are 600 natural antioxidants for all fruits and vegetables. So I suggest 2 or 3 pieces of fruit per day, 3 to 5 servings of vegetables per day. Serving's about ½ a carrot.
And what does fruit and veg do to our energy levels?
Well, it's terrific because this is the best form of carbohydrates, which are released very slowly into your system. So you get a good level of body fuel all day rather than these big peaks that you get with the other carbs.
So now we know which foods give us the best types of energy. When is it best to burn it off?
Is there a better time to exercise than others during the day?
Oh, no doubt. The best time to exercise is about 2 to 6 p.m. And the reason for that is that's when we have our best performance, that's when our muscles work better, we have better hand-eye coordination, and you have less injuries. Because one of the big problems, a lot of people exercise first thing in the morning because it's more convenient. But I'd prefer people over the age of 40 not to exercise first thing in the morning, because first thing in the morning you have a big jump up in blood pressure, your blood is thicker first thing in the morning, and also your arteries are more constricted. So it's always good to wait till the afternoon when your body's more warmed up.
And it seems we've got it all back to front.
And you're big on the Mediterranean lifestyle, aren't you?
They wake up, they have a big breakfast, they go and toil in the fields, they come home and they have a big lunch, they feel sleepy after lunch, they have a sleep, which is very good for you, and then they have a small evening meal. What do? We get up, we have a small breakfast, we snack usually with rubbish, small lunch, maybe another snack in the afternoon, and then we have a big evening meal and sit down in front of television and go to sleep. Now the body is not like a car. With a car you put the fuel in, and the fuel can stay there. But in our body, you put the fuel in, if you don't burn it off, it gets laid down as fat around the belly and fat around the throat, the 2 dangerous sites of fat.
So big meals in the morning, lots of exercise, minimal food intake at night.
Absolutely.
Next up is someone who has made a living for himself, pushing his energy to the limits in one of these. Formula One driver, Mark Webber.
The adventure race is multi-discipline, so it's kayaks, mountain biking, some running, trekking, 5 days. I did the first event in 2003, and that was really my idea with some friends. But then the Swiss Mark Webber Challenge has certainly grown a lot with all the competitors that we have come down there. They have the same philosophy that I have, which is, enjoying the outdoors, being healthy, being, looking after yourself, all your wellness and those sort of things. So the Swiss Challenge now is definitely one of the best adventure races in the world, and I'm very proud of that. And the link that we have with them is just a complete natural fit. I do a lot of travel. Obviously, my schedule is known in advance, so I can plan very well around that. I've got different time zones to hit as well, and I've got to be at the top of my performance every time I go to these venues. So resting is important. This type of stuff is important, making sure I can get away sometimes, even if it's 2 or 3 days, make sure that I can recharge my batteries. I love being with my dogs, mountain biking, and do some recreational things with friends and family, which give me a chance to unwind. And I love watching sport on TV. That's always good, particularly the Aussies. So whenever I get a chance to do that, outside the cockpit, outside my working environment, that's a great way for me to unwind. What makes me happy? Well, I love being in the outdoors. I love, relaxing with family and friends. Obviously, being successful on the circuit as well, being on the track and pulling everything together and winning as a team. But myself, obviously, I play a big role in that, so that's very satisfying, and it's a great drug to feel that, successful spirit, I suppose, come through in your driving and your preparation. So that also makes me happy as well.
Next on Live Healthy, Be Happy, from burnt out to booming. One woman's life-changing lesson about energy.
I'm sitting here today in this magnificent machine because today we're talking about energy. And there's no better example of energy than when a Formula One race car takes off from a standing start.
And while this magnificent machine doesn't race against the likes of Mark Webber on the Formula One circuit, it still provides a huge thrill for anyone lucky enough to go for a spin with its driver, Cameron McConville. After a successful career in V8 supercars, Cam has now turned his skills to piloting this very special F1 car.
I'm here with Cam. Cam, tell me a little bit about this machine.
Well, it was built by European Minardi. It's a purpose-built two-seat F1 car. You can see big wing on the front, rear wing, about 6 times your body weight, downforce when you're cornering, and top speed at Albert Park is just under the 300, about 290.
And what sort of fitness do the guys need to be in to actually master this machine?
Well, someone pretty much like you, actually. You look at the F1 guys, you know, they've got very stiff, very wide necks. It's obviously a high degree of cardio fitness, but also a lot of upper body strength and endurance.
You're watching Live Healthy, Be Happy.
This time each week, we're bringing you a personal story of someone who is putting these tips and principles into everyday life. Kath Perkis is a great example of how energy impacts our lives for good or bad.
Initially, when I started my first business, I was really young, really inexperienced. In terms of energy levels and this thing called balance, I didn't have any. I was working 24/7. I was just purely focused on the business and its success. I really was putting the business before Kath. Once the stress took over, I ended up in hospital, really bad kidney infection, couldn't walk, had to be on a drip for 4 days. It was horrible. Ultimately, that was it. That was when I realised that I couldn't be working the way I was working and I needed to find balance. So as soon as I got out of hospital, I was back into yoga, eating really well, playing soccer, and I made that conscious decision to have a better lifestyle. I saw a big change in my energy levels, a lot happier, a lot healthier. Now that I've got more energy, I'm launching my second business, and I'm a completely different person from the person I was 5 years ago. Instead of working harder, I'm now working smarter. I've got a clear mind and I'm able to process things a lot more effectively. I feel now I'm really happy, and that shows that people actually see that and respond to that. And it means that now I'm so much more productive. Ultimately, no one can tell you to make changes, no one can tell you to go to the gym, but if you take it within yourself to do that, you can have a really good lifestyle and your energy levels will increase.
My next tip is to get your magnesium checked. It's used in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body, including turning glucose into energy. Coming up after the break, I take a hot lap in one of these, and I wrap things up with my top tips.
Today's show has been all about boosting your energy level. And now, here are my 5 top tips.
Add a squeeze of lemon. Clean water and a squeeze of lemon is one of the most well-tested energy boosters around. It hydrates and oxygenates both the mind and body and adds a dash of flavour. Don't skip breakfast. Studies show that eating a meal soon after rising means people are in a better mood and have more energy throughout the day. Get energised. Certain foods such as oats, fresh fruit and vegetables can provide your body with a good source of energy. In addition, there are some great supplements available that help support energy production, mental stamina and physical performance. Stretch it out. Lengthening the spine will increase the blood flow and stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, so it's energising for body and mind. Turn on the tunes. Listening to music can give us an instant burst of energy as it stimulates our body to release endorphins, which lift our mood and gets us motivated.
That's it for this week. Coming up next time on Live Healthy, Be Happy.
Next time, we take a look at protecting your body and boosting your immunity.
Cheers, biggies.
Ash tests to see whether acupuncture really does deliver on its promise to make you feel stronger.
Oh wow, look at those things.
Okay.
Well, they're already really fine, aren't they?
Hamish gets the once-over to future-proof his body against serious illness.
From what I'm looking at here, it looks pretty normal.
And a man who believes he's discovered the fountain of youth. Plus, Chef Karen Martini shares her tips for boosting immunity through food.